that in the delegation, you have to do it by writing. And when I realized there was this gap that I had not delegated, I brought the same law to the attention of the deputy clerk, to the attention of my chairman, that please, when we talked about delegating, there is this section of doing a letter that we have not done. I'm sorry, it was ignored. So when I went to the Senate, I was very exact. I have not delegated. Then there was an audit query because I was out for four years, 9 months, and somebody was acting. So there was an audit query which needed to be sorted out in the Senate. So we went all the way to the Senate, and the issue was sorted out. So I'm here legally as the accounting officer, and I appreciate my speaker and I appreciate my board for having done that to me. When I reported back, January 2023, on 9th, we started our work well. Up to somewhere in September, October 2023, then I realized I'm not receiving even finance reports, because as the accounting officer, you cannot abdicate your responsibility. The buck stops with you, and this is work I'm doing that I know well, that I know my work, I know my role. But all the time, I have kept on asking my chair that it's good, even if somebody is the one transacting on my behalf, we needed to get reports to agree on what is being done, because at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. I'll be asked questions on issues of accounting, authorizing, and so on. But it looked like the chairman did not find it necessary, because I asked many times so that we could have a sitting together to agree on how we are going to work. Now, yes, the chairman signed me for me documents to want to change signatories in Central Bank when I came back. But as we were trying to process that, I even sent my name for gazettement. I am a gazetted clerk of the county assembly. I did all the preliminaries. I looked for my deputy clerk, who is Honorable Duke Onyari, so that we could agree and go to Central Bank and change, and other banks, and change the signatories. I remember filling forms and I sent them to Central Bank through my accounting department. But the finance director came back and told me the Central Bank requires both of us, that is the outgoing signatory and the incoming signatory, to go to Nairobi and change the signatories. I said fine. But around that time, I don't remember the exact months, the deputy clerk went to do a course in Mombasa, Kenya School of Government, so he was not available. I tried to talk to him, but it was not coming out well. Little did I know, shortly after that, members of the board, some of them started talking of, no, we can create two clerks. So here in the county assembly of Nyamira, we had two clerks. That's what they created by their own minute. One who did the interview and qualified to be here, one whom they decided to place, and they gave him the role of accounting officer. They gave me the role of administration. But all the same, I kept on telling the board that there is a better way things are supposed to be done. What we are doing is wrong. And I remain firm saying that. There came a time, I know where you are coming from, when we went to the Senate now. The Senate, the report had been prepared. The reports are there even on the internet. I was given figures, which I read properly, because this report was prepared by the finance department. And remember, some of these reports, the 2020, 2021, 2021, 2022, I was not in. So what I was doing is to read the report as it was presented to me. Where the Senate felt like I had not given the exact figure, because somehow we differed with the auditor who had audited our books, I had to consult my director of finance, who gave me another figure to give out. But again, I want to say, like the figure they were asking of about 40 million, I wouldn't say at this level there is any money lost. No. Our report was talking about money paid and pending payments that we had received certificates from Public Works, which makes 255 million. But in essence, if they could have written the monthly money paid was 211 million, I think that is where the difference was. So that has brought us a problem in the Senate, and I think the committee of CPAC in the Senate realized that I was not on top of things. You remember they asked me, you saw it, whether I was the accounting officer. Are you the clerk? Yes. Are you the accounting officer? I still said yes. I was basing, and I want to put it very clear and apologize to the Senate, I was basing my saying yes to the fact that when you are the clerk, you are the accounting officer. It goes without saying. But for sure, when they went to, are you the signatory in the banks? I am not. I looked for the deputy, as I've explained, we want to change the signatories. He was not available, and then they came up with a minute of sharing the roles. So I am not, and I remain firm on that. I want to say this. According to the board, they are saying that I delegated to Duke Onyari. Family, once again, I want to say I did not delegate. The issue of sharing responsibilities came up, and I accepted because I was advised by the Speaker to do a letter requesting for the sharing of roles. I should be gotten very clear here. There is a role you will never abdicate called the accounting officer. Sharing of roles could be other administrative matters, and that is exactly what I wrote that. Even him, the deputy, I would have delegated to him. The Public Finance Management Regulations, I think it's 2015, number 8 of 2015, I will refer to be exact, gives room for delegation of AIE, authority to incur expenditure or expenses. And it says it is not the board to delegate. It is the accounting officer to delegate. And he has to delegate in writing. And he has to give particular conditions to whoever he has delegated. You will operate up to this much, you will sign this up to this, but again, all reports come back to the clerk, who in turn will internalize what has happened. In the event there is an issue coming up, he can answer, like to the Senate committee, as we were supposed to do. So, the idea of, did I delegate? It is the board that decided to make him a clerk in charge of finance. Me, I remained administrative, and that's why I signed this paper. So, of course, letter comes after we have come back from the Senate. The Senate gave us 3 things to be done, or mentioned 3 things to be done in due course. 1, in 14 days, I should be restored as the accounting officer of the County Assembly of Nyamira. That is what is there, and it will not change. 2, is asked the EACC to come and investigate administratively what has been happening. The 3rd point, they said, Auditor General to come for what they referred to as forensic audit of our books. It's because when you see this difference coming out, then there could be something hidden. So that notwithstanding, 14 days ended on 21st, I think, of June, and they have not given me that responsibility. What I get in turn is a show cause letter. The show cause letter raises 3 concerns. 1, that the ballot papers of the impeachment of His Excellency the Governor, that's about 9 months ago, that after the elections, they leaked. I don't know whether I call it leaking, because if we had agreed that it was going to be done in private, or what do you call it, secret ballots, we did that and finished. So they have said these papers were seen elsewhere. But up to now, they have not given me those ballot papers which were seen so that I could respond to them. Remember, the media was there when we were doing the impeachment, and anybody with a wood camera, when I was raising the impeachment papers votes, can capture that. So if it went out, I don't know. Number 1. Number 2, they have referred that I have violated Standing Order number 20 of the County Assembly of Nyamira. It looks like I didn't have the copy here. Standing Order number 20 talks about the ballot papers of the elections of the Honorable Speaker. That it will be done in secret ballot. The County Assembly Clerk shall have custody of those papers for 6 months. After that, they will be destroyed. Does not mention about impeachment of any officer. Again, in our standing orders, there is no standing order or any law which tells me on how to keep the impeachment ballot papers. But I want to finish this by saying, that notwithstanding, I did not release any ballot paper to the public. And the standing orders also mention exactly who the public is. Remember, an MCA internally here is not the public. a public is anybody who is not a member of the county assembly, but I did not raise. So I'm responding to the issue whether it is to the public or not. I did not, and I do not have a law which tells me on how to keep those papers. Another issue they raised. We have staff who were employed in 2017 under the leadership of the board of Honorable Nyamoko, Josh, around 2017 before the elections. Which means from 2017 to 2024, which we are, that is about 7 years. The public is aware and everybody is aware. The law of employment, public employment, whatever. Anybody employed stands to be permanent and pensionable upon clocking 6 months. Of course, there was an issue on how they were employed, which we have explained to EACC, and the EACC has authority to, to tell us what to do next, and we are waiting for that. It started a long time ago, not even by 2018. I think it had started in 2017. So up to now, they took the papers, documentation, we did it. So, and on my own thinking and my small wisdom, these are just mere letters to give them room to seek even for facilities from banks. But they'll be aware, because they have never been given permanent and pensionable letters or confirmation letters, they are not benefiting from our even car loan and mortgage scheme within the assembly. Some of them approached me and told me, please give us this letter so that we're able to get facilities from the bank. I thought it wise to do so. And at the same time, I want you to be aware. The employment, to be exact, after 6 months you turn to be permanent and pensionable. Number two, the letter I'm giving them does not change anything in their pay. Does not. Even if EACC is still following up, I'm sorry if there's anything wrong with it. It does not actually jeopardize, let me say, the process of any form of investigation. So that's when I give them the letter. However, shortly, some members of the board raised the concern that why did you give them the letters without consulting us? You see, I was doing it the way I did it previously. All of these members of staff who are over 114, that's what I did to them when they were employed. When they were employed, the minutes were done by the board of employment. When 6 months came, I sat down, because that's what the law says, to give them confirmation what? Letters. So I was doing what we did previously. So I told the board, I am sorry, and I apologized before them. I am sorry, I didn't know that I was supposed to come and ask for a minute to confirm them, because they are over 7 years old. But I'm sorry. Only 2 letters had gone out to 2 members of staff only. They told me, the board told me to withdraw those letters. I did. I withdrew them. So up to today, those letters are not with the staff. I withdrew them. If anybody has got that letter, then should tell us where it came from. But 2 members I can account that I gave, and they brought back the originals. The third issue, that I misled the Senate by saying that I had not delegated to my deputy clerk. Of course, this should come from the Senate if I misled it. However, my board has raised that concern. The fact remains, as I've explained earlier, that in the delegation, you have to do it by writing. And when I realized there was this gap that I had not delegated, I brought the same law to the attention of the deputy clerk, to the attention of my chairman, that please, even if we talked about delegating, there is this section of doing a letter that we have not done. I'm sorry, it was ignored.